Astonishing.
Hi, everybody. It's over.
Yay!
It's over. It's over. It's over. Yeah, it's kind of like, it's like the end of a root canal. All the dentist can say to you is, well, it's over. You're done.
Woohoo!
Yeah, you're finished. I'll
Yeah,
tell
just
you,
wait till
I'm
the
not
Novocaine wears
enthused.
off.
I'm just not enthused with it all. I could have done without that. And look, this is what preseason football is. But there's only a few people who I can honestly say deserved have deserved to make the team based on the first 2 weeks of the preseason, and that would be Davis, the number 18, the wide receiver, who was wide open if Kyle Lauletta would have thrown him the touchdown pass, but that would be asking too much. Kyle Lauletta can't be accurate 2 weeks in a row, and now we know why he's a third stringer behind that mammoth gunslinger Case Keenum. And as far as Davion Davis is concerned, he made a great comeback catch earlier in the game, made use of the few opportunities that he was out on the field. Other people out there, I mean, if Robert Jackson could just be put in a box and sent away as far as they can send him, I would be really happy with that.
Utter Mongolia with Sendejo.
Yeah, I mean, he's terrible. I mean, 2 penalties on 1 pass defense play. Hi, Rocks.
He's got the best hair in the team, though. Come on, they gotta keep him for his hair.
Yeah, offensive, his defensive pass interference and grabbing a face mask, and his doppelganger was raping the guy's wife. I mean,
Wow.
what in the hell?
Wow.
I'm very, very tired of Robert Jackson. He ain't no Stonewall, okay? God almighty. Bad player.
For which the Cherokee tribe is very happy, by the way.
Killer of team morale. Other people who've actually deserved to get a look.
LeCount got another interception at garbage time. I mean,
yeah. I say that. Yeah, he was going to make the team anyway. He's the draft pick, so he's going to make the team. I mean, a guy who's
going to need a new linebacker to scout after Meander got carted off.
Yeah,
But he was back in the game.
Was he?
No. Not him.
Lee was back in the game.
Lee was back in the game.
Elijah Lee. Yeah. He had a couple of interesting plays. He's all right.
Do you notice how the cart, when they took Meander off, was kind of
meandering?
He got the scenic cruise. He's done, and so now we need yet another linebacker. And once again, the Browns, are being short of linebackers. There's nothing new in this equation. This has been an ongoing issue, and we don't seem to want to replenish it with anybody except 1 or 2 year players. If there isn't our guy in the draft that's the obvious pick, we bring in a guy who's a stopgap guy. All right. Last year, who was the stopgap guy?
BJ Goodson.
Yeah, BJ Goodson, right. And so
still available, by the way.
Sendejo was supposed to be too. Sendejo was supposed to be a stopgap guy.
Well, I would say Ronnie Harrison was more of a stopgap because of the unexpected Achilles tear by Delpit.
But then again, Harrison actually was already a good player. That was the thing. He had more upside than what we had in Sendejo. Sendejo wasn't even supposed to play, and he ended up playing more than anybody else in the defense.
I'd rather have Malcolm McDowell than Malik McDowell, because Malcolm McDowell could at least act in the locker room and get everyone psyched up, and he wouldn't commit criminal assault.
Yeah, so, he was good in Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, exactly.
Lest we forget his doctor in Planet of the Apes.
Oh, right. My feeling is that the guys you see at the tail end of the game are the guys who are the tail end of the roster. Especially, it can't be good news for Mac Wilson, that, you're seeing him out there in scrub time.
And he's still not making plays.
He's still not making plays, and the son of a bitch won't get injured. So, what are we to make of this?
I think that probably the most.
I'm you, voodoo doll.
The most interesting thing I heard actually was on the radio broadcast early in the game, because I was simulcasting until Sirius started having it kept repeating over and over. They said the Giants brought all of their front office people to Cleveland for these practices because they're looking at the plethora of offensive linemen that the Browns have. Some of the second stringers.
You can have Drew Forbes.
Well, where were they?
Oh.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, we haven't had a starters play at all of our offensive line, and they actually ran the ball well today. Now, grant they're playing against second stringers on the other side of the line as well, but
Yeah, I just want to point out there will be people who say, well, gosh, the Giants are a lousy football team. And then there are going to be people who say, well, the Steelers looked really good. Big Ben looked really good. But, the Lions, Dan Campbell, I mean, that is just like a plane wreck, just waiting to happen. I mean, you can just see. I mean, I have never seen, except for the Cleveland Browns when they would play in preseason in years past, missing so many tackles, dropping so many passes, making foolish mistakes. The play calling is horrible. They have no quarterback. They got nothing. They got nothing at all.
Yeah, I just got a text message here from Charles Barkley. Says they're terrible. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, terrible.
Terrible.
Yeah, it's
Well, and then did you see?
I actually have a message I have to channel, and this is from Beelzebub.
Beelzebub.
I want this game to be shown to the masses, so that they will wish to come to hell. They will have no choice in the end but to come to the fiery pits of the inferno after watching this solid piece of shit.
Which is a quadruple header of the fucking Indians.
Hey, you know what the saddest part is, though? They're always talking about
part?
With that Steelers game, though, everybody's talking about how great Big Ben looked. There was this one play, you've probably seen it. I mean, it was all over Twitter, all over Instagram, wherever. Ben scrambles out, makes a Ben play of old, and guess what?
He lobs it up in the air.
No, makes the play to Eric Ebron. Perfect pass right on the money and drops it. So,
yeah, well, the other one was when he broke containment and he just threw the ball, and it was like a duck.
Yeah, and they were saying Ben still got his arm. That was the caption on that video.
I don't know. Maybe, but again, I'm not going to say anything bad about the Steelers. The Lions, the ones I'm going to say something terrible about, they're awful. There are some awful, awful teams. And we're playing one next week, too. And you know what I think? And maybe I'm becoming more like the average stupid American when I say that I'm finding a conspiracy in this. But, don't you notice that all the good teams are playing, or the teams that the NFL thinks are marquee teams that they can get public relations value out of, are playing the weakest sisters in the league in their preseason games? That cannot be accidental. That can't be accidental. And is anyone really? I saw that AJ McCarron went down with a knee, and it wasn't the victory formation. Where does he fit in with the Falcons, AJ McCarron?
He would have been their backup quarterback.
I thought he was going to be our savior at one point in time.
Not anymore.
And they have a rookie, Felipe Franks, who was making some plays. He'll probably play a lot against us. Not that it matters, but
yeah. Well, but they're awful. They've lost all their preseason games, and not competitively, I'll add. And the Eagles are simply atrocious. The fans there are going to go berserk week after week after week. And, and honestly, you know why I hated this game today?
Why?
It made me think too much about the Browns from decades past, because these would have been the guys who would have been starting. You know, it was like when I see these people like Robert Jackson, and like I saw Sendejo last year, I mean, it brings back really bad memories.
Well, how about Case Keenum throwing that terrible pick?
Yeah.
I mean, this is the guy that everybody was saying is way better than Baker last year. Some even this year.
Yeah, I don't know why we still have Baker on the team, honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
We just cut his ass and be done with it, for God's sake.
Yeah,
Cut who?
Baker.
we're being
Yeah, we don't need him to win. Yeah, best impact.
I mean,
sounds
Walletta
good.
looked like a goddamn superstar. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
He might replace Delpit. Well, what do you mean Delpit? I haven't seen
You
Delpit.
can't replace somebody who hasn't played.
Yeah, guy's limping
was-
off the field all the
that
time.
was-
And Greedy Williams. It's
Yeah,
like, you
can't
know,
physically play.
does he have
There-
more than one groin? I'm just curious.
Supposed
I mean,
to be
how
Delpit
many injuries
was-
can one man sustain?
He's like Legos. They just interchange them.
It's
Oh,
his
no.
size. He's too scrawny.
Well, that'll be his next thing. He'll step on a Lego and be out 3 weeks. So,
Yeah, that was like, you know,
those things hurt.
my taking down of Tim Tebow. And, you know, I went on social media and addressed the fact that any guy who tells you he's really well mentally adjusted because he's found his peace with God, and yet he keeps trying sport after sport after sport that he can't play in order to keep his name alive. And then
It's
as
a
soon
don't
as he
make a
gets
wish.
cut, you know, what is it? He's now a spokesperson for some kind of a health drink. And it's just like, it won't fucking stop. He's Kato Kalin. He's never going to go away. He's Kim Kardashian. He can't play football. And I want to say this about him. He's a fuck shit human being too. It's all bullshit. He uses his Christianity so he can become Mr. Social Media. Fuck him. He never had a
Don't make
chance
a
to
wish.
play tight end. And don't believe me. I want Derek to back me up on this. They brought him in to Jacksonville, and Urban Meyer, after 1 week of the preseason, said, that's enough of that, man. You know, my loyalty only goes so far. This is my first year here. I don't want to get fired my first year. It's like, look, I did what you asked me to do, and I put him on the field at the end of a game, and he made a blistering fool of himself. It's like, when it gets to the point that Urban Meyer just shrugs his shoulders and says, "How to fuck with him."
Well, and I think, honestly, I think the biggest reason why Urban brought him to the team in the first place was because you're bringing in a star college quarterback. Urban obviously has love in his heart for Tim Tebow and what he did at Florida. So I thought it was more of a mentorship role. And if you can be kind of decent, we'll try to keep you around. But he was just so pathetic that Urban, unless he wanted to just be more of a joke than people are already expecting it to be, he had to get rid of him. And it's like, it's a don't make a wish with Tim Tebow. You know, I don't have any personal feelings on him, but I don't get how, and I know, yes, he's had a great athletic career, you know, as far as college and stuff, but how is it that this guy manages to repeatedly keep getting, you know, go from the NFL and then you want to go into minor league baseball just because you want to, and then you get another shot in the NFL? It's like whatever he's gotten to get this many chances, somebody's got to figure that out, because
I want him to get into the ring next against Jake Paul. I mean, that's what's next.
That's probably next. Yeah.
No, he's going to be fighting Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah.
And by the way, Doggy Bones, I have something I want to say to you. Is this thing on?
Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
Wait, where's the cricket sound effect again?
Yeah, and I don't have a cricket. I'm going to start one if he keeps that shit up. You got to come in here with stronger goods than that, Doggy Bones. I mean, yeah. I mean, Rox gave him the polite ha-ha, and she's rolling her eyes right now, going, "God, what a dork."
I will say that the best Cleveland thing that happened today was not the Browns. It was the major league team showing up to the Little League World Series and all the kids kind of freaking out. That was pretty slick. And they had Jose Ramirez driving the little baseball cart like Tom Berenger did in the movie with the helmet, and it was pretty slick. So,
all right, Doggy Bones, redemption. Redemption is only one joke away when you're a stand-up comedian. What do you call a lawyer with an IQ under 70? Average? Is this where you're going with it? He forgot the punchline. All right, well, you got to work on your act, man. You got to work on it.
It's all about the timing.
It is. It really is. You can't keep the audience waiting that long for a punchline, you know? and Joe Kelly.
It's like,
Joe
how do you
Machine
keep
Gun
an
Kelly.
idiot? How do you keep an idiot in suspense?
I'll just wait forever. Yeah, Bronk.
Oh, a new career for Tim Tebow. The obvious one would be NASCAR.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Or golf.
I was thinking cricket. That's
No, you can't hit the ball or catch it.
Well, he could be a wicket.
Doggy Bones.
But you can hit him in the balls with a wooden ball.
Doggy Bones, when it comes to rocks, honor or offer? Just make up your mind. People trying out for America's Got No Talent on The Perfect Show, the talentless podcast. Oh, my God. Yeah,
So
but Joe Kelly actually looked faster this week, and so I give him credit. He looked like a deer in the headlights against the Jaguars, which is funny because there was no fear that they could possibly strike in anyone. But today he was like, holy shit, I'm going to get cut. And I got to look good for somebody. And so he ran like he was blasted out of a cannon. Good for him. I was glad to see that.
Moo, you didn't like what you saw out of Malik McDowell today?
What did I see?
I thought he looked pretty good. He was in the backfield quite a bit. Or at least maybe...
Was he beating on a woman somewhere in the backfield that I didn't notice?
No, but he was beating on fourth-string Giants linemen.
Yeah, well,
so
I mean...
Close enough.
Yeah, this guy hasn't flashed enough to take a chance on that kind of a character being involved in the locker room, and I think those days are over, Rocks. That's really mean. It was the polite ha-ha. Yeah.
Hey.
Other than that, nobody really stood out.
In other words, it was the Mickey Mouse ha-ha.
Yeah. Franks, the tight end, he didn't exactly... I mean, he made a few catches, but then he reverted back to what he did the first preseason game. He made a few drops. And that can't make your roster.
And my question is there possibly a spot for a tight end now that Carlson's done for the year? So
well, the opportunity's there, but you don't get it by dropping passes.
Yeah.
So
I mean, are they going to keep 4 tight ends? It seems unlikely, but who knows? I know, in the long run. That's what I mean. In the long run, Stefanski loves his tight ends, but
Well, would you rather
looking at Stanton, number 40? He could double, they say,
Yeah.
as a tight end or as a running back.
Yeah,
Well,
Johnny Stanton can do a lot. He might be a better quarterback.
Would you rather keep a 4th-string tight end or keep somebody like Davion Davis on the roster? Is the question.
Well, I mean, if you're not going to use Davion Davis, then there's no reason for him to be on the roster. And he should be on the practice squad where he could be called up when he's needed. But if you need a tight end, I mean, the way the Browns use a tight end, they use them a lot more than they use wide receivers in bulk. So,
And Davis can actually, if he's on the practice squad, they can actually use him on the scout team offense.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a surprise on the wide receivers. I can kind of maybe see somebody being kept that we don't think of so much, and maybe somebody leaving. I don't know.
I could have done without seeing Joe Thomas's sweaty armpit. I could have really done without that.
They had to show it 10 times.
Oh,
Well, that's trending right now on Twitter, by the way. It's like real big trending on Twitter. I was like, oh, Cleveland Browns, what do I have to say? Oh, Jesus, they're all about Joe Thomas's armpits.
well,
I'll
I
tell
mean,
Tells
you
you how
what.
good the game was.
this guy could honestly now get some kind of a spokesperson position going the Tim Tebow route for something like Sure or Old Spice or something like that. You know, he could convert that into quick money, which is really what it's about. Yeah, Bronk.
Yeah, that broadcast booth had to smell worse than the ice hockey locker room. So that had to be horrible.
I don't believe that Kadero Hodge is going to get cut. He made a nice catch
I
on
think
the
Matson's definitely
touchdown.
getting cut.
Yeah,
And-
Natson looked
Matson's
bad.
definitely getting cut.
Yeah, Natson, there's no room for, and you can see that
Well,
they're
Felton-
expanding Demetric Felton's role
That's-
and his versatility. It's going to be that famous versatility.
That's
you know,
Felton
kind of
does
thing.
everything Natson does and more, and that's
Yeah.
the thing. It's really he does everything Natson does. Returns kicks. He can play wide receiver, but he can also run the ball, kind of. If he
And if
gets the right
Schwartz
health.
ever gets healthy, if,
Yeah, did
if
Marvin
Schwartz ever gets
Schwartz,
healthy,
whatever the
that's
fuck his
key.
name is, play today?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, a couple of plays were Metcalf up the middle. I mean, going back a ways. That's really what it seemed like. I'm just sitting there looking. It's like tiny little guy behind the offensive line and just everybody smashing him. But he does, if he gets his act together, I mean, he's got some ability. So I think he's got a chance of, obviously, I think they're going to like him. So
Hey,
I mean,
Moo, you think AJ Green makes this roster as a fourth corner? I think he should.
Well, I mean, it looks like it's almost bound to happen with the way the cards are being dealt at this point. And I don't know what the best impact has against Kadero Hodge. He's a good blocking wide receiver, and believe me, Demetric Felton can't be compared to Kadero Hodge. They're two different players. And to be sure, the problem is that Davion Davis and Felton are two guys who are smaller, diminutive receivers, and the rest of the receivers that we regularly go to are these big guys for the most part. And I don't know.
Well, they're
I
more of the
just-
speed.
So-
I wouldn't say big. They're just more of a speed guys versus the actual sure-handed receivers.
So do you
I
think
mean,
if they keep
I'm the first one to admit that I'd rather have Donovan Peoples-Jones at this point and Higgins on the field than Kadero Hodge. But one of those guys is going to get hurt anyway. And what Derek is desperately trying to get in through the mire here is that Anthony Schwartz doesn't appear to be close to making any contribution anytime soon.
No, he'll probably, if he remains on the team, he will be probably on injured reserve the entire fucking year.
So do you
Well,
think
this is his time too?
if they keep Felton, do you think they keep Dearness Johnson?
They have to.
With
They have to.
four running backs?
Yeah, because he's more the body type of Nick Chubb.
Boy,
He's a bigger. bigger back.
Johnson's an interesting thing because he played well when he got the ball. He played well in that one game last year, obviously.
well, he can play.
You know,
and a team
he's
is going
got
to get
skills.
him if we cut him. A team's going to get him, and he's going to get a chance to play with a lower tier football team. And he can
Texans.
run the ball from
Okay,
scrimmage.
never mind.
Vikings.
Texans.
What?
I said Vikings.
Tony said Vikings. I said Texans with the rest of the Browns refugees.
Lions.
Rocks, what makes you think you can
The
even
Lions
smell
could
the
definitely.
Old Spice? I don't understand that.
That's not Old Spice. That's Vermont cheese.
It isn't burritos, Rick. It's Indian food. That would be like the most disturbing thing. It's like,
Oh,
you
man,
would
if
be
Joe
in a
Thomas was eating
Indian
curry.
sweat factory. You know? Ugh.
No, knowing Joe Thomas, he would probably be eating White Hots.
So basically,
which
best
is hers.
impact, if your criteria is people getting hurt every year, you want to get rid of Greedy Williams. That would be first. You want to get rid of Delpit. That would be second. You're complaining about Kadero Hodge. That would be third. I'm trying to think who else seems
Beckham?
to miss more games than you can imagine.
Njoku.
I mean,
And the
Odell
Joku.
Beckham would be gone. He just missed an entire season.
So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't cut somebody on a premise that he got hurt last year. I am really concerned that Greedy Williams has just turned out to be a bust pick and that he can't stay on the field.
Well, I just heard today before the game. I'm sorry to cut you off. I just heard before the game with Delpit, they are expecting him to be good for the first quarter of the year, possibly even by week 1 or week 2, is the report I heard. So that's good news.
Well, they can say what they want. I think his hamstring has more to say about that than the Browns front office.
And Moo, you even talked about these guys that are trying to recover from an Achilles that he had, and some people will never come back from that. And then when you have something going on with your lower leg and you start doing different things to your leg, other parts of your leg start screwing up. And
hey, Moo, I have an update.
Yeah, what's your update?
This is kind of a big thing. Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski says Cody Parkey has suffered a quad injury. So I guess that pretty much means that McLaughlin's our guy.
Yep.
There you go.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Mr. Celery.
Da, 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 da. White marshmallow of hope. He's dancing. This is as close as he gets to Soul Train.
Well, we need Mr. Celery.
Looks like
that's
that's
as
a
close as
twist.
you get to Soul Train.
The other thing that's going to be interesting is that extra week off that between the last preseason game and
Woohoo!
Don Cornelius.
Yes.
Woohoo!
Yes.
That was 15 minutes ago. That report came out, by the way.
Yeah. And nobody, again, in the broadcast said a damn thing about it. And maybe that's the reason why Chase McLaughlin came out to kick that late field goal. Maybe that has a lot to do with that.
That was the Browns broadcast, too. I'm like, why would you not report on your own team?
I don't know. Maybe they just were afraid that the stadium would erupt in joy. The other thing was there were no people watching that game.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people
there
disguised as orange seats. That's for damn sure.
So anybody who tells you that, these states that are, it's a number of people and they make a big, big noise. But when push comes to shove, nobody wants to. I mean, it would be suicidal to go into a stadium with 60,000 people. That would just be suicidal right now. Just crazy. Whether you're vaccinated or not vaccinated, it would be more of a disaster if you're not. It would still be a tremendous risk if you were. I don't know.
Right.
They might as well cut the preseason down to 2 and just fill the other couple weeks with joint practices. It's better, I think. It's more controllable.
I know a lot of the players would enjoy joint practices because that would be relaxing.
Then you might as well cut the rosters down to 65 instead of 80.
Yeah, I mean, this is ridiculous because already as it is, you can see how easily injured these people are and how quickly they come and go. There was a time when you didn't make the team. It was like, oh, shit, But now it's like, hey, they're going to be giving me a call back as soon as the injuries hit the Browns like it does every year. There's a lot of that.
Especially if you're a linebacker.
Yeah, it's interesting. Rick just continues to wail away at Mary Kay Cabbage Head. Have at it, my man. Have at it. Yeah, Cody Parkey is a guy who, I mean, do you know how many, I saw that Austin Seibert is kicking for the Bengals. I know that Zane Gonzalez is still in the league. And are there any other ex-Browns kickers marching around? And well, now, obviously, Cody Parkey will be. I just hope he doesn't go to a city that makes him nervous. That's it. I mean, I was never high on that player. And, he stopped with that thing. He was doing something new on the field. He was doing this real quick.
Yeah.
Like, we still see you doing it, dude.
Yeah, remember Greg Joseph? He's the Vikings kicker.
You know, what I wanted to do is somebody to do like, what Curly and the Three Stooges used to do when he would go around in circles and have a real good pre-kick, or Al Hrabosky, the baseball pitcher, just get out there and just stomp up a storm. I'd love to see James Karinchak, the Indians relief pitcher, as a kicker coming into the game. Oh, my God. And by the way, James Karinchak's ERA is more than doubled since the sticky stuff was taken out of the game.
What's up with that? I don't get it.
Karinchak, whenever he comes off the mound, they immediately, if you watch, sometimes they stay with it a little longer on, Bally Sports Gambling Disease Network. And, as they fade to commercial, you see Karinchak and he's walking toward the dugout after he's, pitched the 8th inning. And the umpire's just coming out saying, go ahead, show it to me. Because, where are you hiding it this week? Come on. Yeah, his big breaking ball suddenly stopped breaking so much. Yeah, Bronk. What are you doing? Bronk,
your mic's not on.
Off.
Stupid mic on.
You're muted.
Hey, I said his fingers are stuck together.
And he's up in the strike zone because he's losing the grip on the ball. All of it. Yeah, very obvious stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, I saw the guy in the Jets. Did you see Sternberger get a couple of TDs on the Jets?
Yeah.
No, because if he were, he would have had a special helmet made and a face guard to house his nose. That's the first thing. And second of all, that's not my last name.
No, it's not. It's very close.
But there are a lot of close ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, but none right on the money. So no, I can't say that and if he's playing for the Jets, he's going to have an opportunity on the field because maybe he's the only one who can catch the ball. He looked like he had sticky fingers, so he was doing good out there.
Maybe he should pitch.
Yeah.
See how we did that? Yeah, right back.
Yeah, he's just brought it back, So. Hey, you should talk to Doggy Bones.
That's how you put together a set, okay?
Yeah, that's right.
One of these days, we're going on stage.
Comment section comedy.
There you go. That's going to be the Boo Birds.
Well, I'll tell you, if you want to see the funniest example of that, Dave Chappelle, who I don't know if you like Dave Chappelle as a comedian.
Love Dave Chappelle.
One of my neighbors, basically.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle did a bit that I had not seen. Brox had seen it before. And he talks about the jokes that he has a punchline to, but he hasn't created a joke for them yet. And he throws out one of the punchlines, and he doesn't have a joke for it. And then like 6-7 minutes later in the set, he's telling this story, and bang, he uses the punchline. I mean, and it just fucking kills you. It just fucking kills you. So that's a good technique, Doggy Bones. Yeah, I mean, what was up with Jack Morris too? Be very careful.
Very, very careful.
It's like, what the hell? I mean, is this an Asian Elmer Fudd thing? I mean, what the hell was that? How do people, do they think before they speak?
No, not on this panel anyway.
And since I talked to you last, Mike Richards is not the permanent host of Jeopardy anymore. He stepped down. He's desperately clinging to his executive producer position. And now they're going to bring out more guest hosts. And maybe they'll vet one of these people.
Just get it over with and give it to LeVar.
Come on down.
Give it to LeVar Burton. Just get it over with.
I didn't
thought you were going to say LeVar Ball.
Good though, and I don't like.
But he's the trending thing on Twitter. People will like this, and you know what? That's how Deadpool got made. For God's sake, it's like.
But he's 67 years old, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's old.
Yeah, don't be going there.
He's already got one foot in the fucking
I'm 64,
grave.
you cocksucker.
Well, then you should know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
damn, Brian. Just throw it right out there, why don't you?
Fucking death panels in America,
Next thing you'll be calling Move Fat,
Yeah, I know. What the hell?
Actually, we were talking about coming up with those sports drinks and stuff. Actually, Tony, Brian, and I are coming up with a weight loss supplement. So we're
Excellent. I'll buy that.
And that's true. Harry Carey. Yeah. I could only imagine what he would have said about Otani,
Well, I think Peter
I can
Alice.
only do Harry Carey. Will Ferrell doing Harry Carey. I can't do Harry Carey himself. It's like, hi everybody.
Yeah, that's good. You see, that works. That way, anything passes.
Hi, I can't believe this Cook is the face of the week.
Yes, Rick, that's not a
Brought to
skylight
you
you're
by
seeing.
Budweiser.
But I'm thinking
That's
of
the
what he would
open
say
hole.
about Otani, and it would have been like, this would be way back in the 50s, and if Otani was pitching and hitting in the 50s, it would have been like, nobody expected this when he broke camp. Then there would be the pause, and it would be, I bet the internment camp. You see, you just go a completely different way with it, you see.
Well, guess who's not hosting Jeopardy now?
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm going to look back at these podcasts and say,
The way they
we
got
can't
Mike
hire
Richards
you.
is he was podcasting, and it's like, can you imagine? I have destroyed. Not that I have a future, I have a past. I don't have a future, but any future, if Game Show Network, if I put in, something into Game Show Network just to say, hey, I want to be the host of the Rinky Tinky Roll the Dice show, they're going to immediately go online and go, yeah.
Already talked about expanding the face mask for certain ethnic players. So, yeah.
Exactly.
And we've only been on for what, 15, 20 minutes? I don't know.
No, it's been longer than that. It's been 36 minutes. It'll show you the quality of the program that it moves so fast. The game moved.
We need
Shows you the quality of the game. Yeah.
we need the Peter Alice moment of the game.
I'd say the post game has actually maybe been more entertaining than the game itself. It usually is, though. Brian usually contributes well to that, so I do appreciate that.
I do what I can.
Oh, Montreal Meander. The news was bad. Then the news was good. And then the news was bad. And now you're not going to open any mail at your home. Oh no, you're not going to answer the telephone. Who knows what's next for Montreal? Perhaps Taco Bell. Oh.
Hey, speaking of, side note, I got chips from Taco Bell and they gave me like no cheese. I've never been so mad in my life.
Wow.
Did you say
They
chicks?
fuck you at the drive-thru.
They gave you chicks?
Chips with the P.
Oh, they gave you old reruns of that Eric Estrada show? Why would they do that?
I love that shit. That was great, man.
They
I
fuck you at the drive-thru. They fuck you at the drive-thru.
I'm not getting stuck with the tuna.
Thanks for coming, Key.
Oh no! Oh no!
no.
I'm not
Oh,
gonna
no.
get the tuna. Oh
No.
You don't want the tuna, then don't eat the tuna.
no! Yeah.
That's what I'm telling you. I don't want
Weapon,
to fucking eat the tuna.
See, I'm thinking, I can hear Bronx saying, I want a cheeseburger, French fries, onion rings, and a large orange drink. What's up? What? You said you wanted 2 cheeseburgers?
You know what would be better? And Rudy, you're the first person who wants God to bless me for what I'm doing on the air. But thank you. Thank you. But I think he's way too busy. I don't think he's going to do that. But it is possible. You know what would be great at the drive-thru? It would be, can you imagine you pull up for your basic burger and fries and you have to deal with Harry Carey through the speaker system?
What would that sound like, I wonder?
I can't even do it now. See, there you go. That's
I
I got
just
it.
make it stop.
I'm
for
gonna have
God's
to. I'm gonna have to
sake.
switch over to. I can do Groundskeeper Willie. What's the matter with you people over there? That's about it.
That's about it. Well, that's enough. That's better than
Yeah.
Mick
I was
I-
trying to
Willie.
explain to Rox who Tommy Heinsohn is, and
Legend.
that just
Dead.
really wasn't going over very well.
Dead legend.
Yeah, I got to go to see Frank Caliendo about a week or so ago,
Oh, jeez.
and he did all these things. And the only reason I got to go is because a buddy of mine's girlfriend had no idea who all these impressions were after he showed them to her online, and she just went, "Yeah, there's no way I'm going to this." So I got to go. So it was pretty cool.
Oh wow!
And then
yeah,
boom,
it's bad.
you got to
know,
go.
that's what I hated when I sometimes I'm on YouTube, on my smart TV, which I don't know. Talking about a misnomer, smart TV. It's like, where'd that come from? And I'm watching, and it says, great impressionist from Britain's Got Talent, and it's all British people like. Oh, so you go from all there to there. And
they're all like,
it's like, well, who are they doing? Who are they? It's great. I don't want to hear Graham Norton impersonations. Make that stop.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
Oh my god! It's like, I don't
So where
know
was he-
enough Brits that I would.
Where
even
was he at that
possibly
you got to
miss.
go see Frank?
the Funny Bone here in Columbus.
Oh, was he?
Hey,
Yeah,
I
it's
like
front
this
row.
Rudy
Oh,
G.
and
Funk
Bronk,
guy.
you'd love this. I know this is off the topic here, but so I'm sitting there through the whole show. About halfway through the show, I finally stretch and turn around. Het is right behind me.
Oh wow.
No.
My very
Another-
first college roommate is sitting directly
Oh.
behind me.
Hey,
I thought you were
was
talking
a
about
roommate-
Mike Pettin.
Yeah, no,
I was a
That'd be
roommate
funny.
briefly too.
yeah, it was pretty cool. So,
Hey,
but yeah, it was a good show.
Freddie Gibbons. Good.
And I love graham crackers, so we have something in common. I got to get out of here. My back
Yeah.
is ready to blow up,
Oh,
and I
God,
mean
did
it
you
literally. And that would be ugly as hell. Key would be totally grossed out if she didn't like the sweat underneath Joe Thomas's armpit. She wouldn't. I know that she would not want my lower back to blow up, and then my colon come bursting out of the screen.
Oh,
That'd be-
colon.
I could
Colon
go
foul.
for some sweaty
Yeah,
armpits
that would
right
be
now.
bad. But I'm going to have trouble getting up from this chair. So I am going to get the hell out of here. But look, a win's a win. Not really. And
Rox,
the people,
bring in the cherry picker.
yeah, we're gonna sit. We're gonna watch. Gonna get it down to 80 people, and then we're gonna see it again prime time. And I've changed my mind. I'm not doing a post game
Yeah,
show. I
don't
mean,
go
hell, I'm
on.
not gonna
I'm not
stay up
gonna-
late for this.
no.
Fuck no. Yeah,
Can-
Bronk. Before I
Can we
go.
have the BCOD for the third preseason game so that we never have to suffer this again? We
I'm just
need-
worried though,
Kill
the
the
BCOD. I mean,
Yeah,
now
thank you.
who else is going to get hurt now, right?
The other teams, hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, nobody's making you watch the preseason games there.
But it's all part of the thrill of being with you, Brian. The white
All right,
marshmallow.
everybody. Thanks a lot for tuning into this edition of the post game show. We'll be
Always
back
love to
again
keep my audience riveted.
tomorrow at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, unless my back continues like this, in which maybe I won't, because I don't want to analyze this any further. Okay?
No one does.
Yeah. So I'll let everybody know what I'm doing tomorrow.
It's a
Thanks for
horrible game.
tuning in, and until next time, hasta la vista, pasture heads. Good night.
Goodbye now. Goodbye.